Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. I was just sitting around a little while ago. I was working on a blog post doing multitasking, which I know I'm not good at, but it was simple stuff. And I happened to look down at the time and then I happened to look down at the date. Now I'm not totally lost on the date, but I didn't realize exactly when it was. Where I forget that today's the 19th, so right around that third week, 19th, 20th, 21st. And that just made me have to come down here and do a video. Just something popped in my head, and I was like, man, wow, this is a date. I need to talk about this. So, as you can see from the title, Raw and Sober, 5 best years of my life. This is going to be a little bit of a just personal story or whatever, but if you're not already subscribed, I'd appreciate if you'd hit that subscribe button now, click on the little bell and check send notifications so you will stay subscribed to the channel. Yeah, like I say, I've been in a real reflective place lately. I'm always like that when I'm about to make kind of I don't know if you'd call it a major change, because I don't have a lot to pack up, but I'm packing up, going back to the States for 6 months, and then I'll be back in Costa Rica. So every time I change a house or whatever, I get real reflective, and I don't know, I just kind of go into that mode. And as I realized, right about at 5 years of being sober and at eating mostly raw, high raw, I was like, wow, how the time flies. And, you really just you don't get how good it feels until depending on where you've been. I mean, man, it's just like that's why I am who I am. That's why I am how I am on this channel, because I'm like eternally happy every day. Let's go back more than 5 years. Let's go back 7 years, 8 years ago. There was a peak of like darkness there. I was in a couple of situations. My living situation was horrid. I was very stressed out by the living situation, by circumstances in general. And in those days, I basically drank and smoked just to be able to not lose my mind and flip out and do something that was going to probably be really serious. I mean, yeah, I would just pace around. Like, to deal with this situation, I would just pace around outside my apartment at night and just smoke one cigarette. I literally lit one bud off another. Didn't necessarily get drunk every night, but just so I could deal with it and take the edge off and lessen what I was dealing with. There was always, I'd stop by the store and figure, okay, I'm going to get 4 or 5 beers today. And then there was enough beer to put me to sleep at night. So just due to my circumstance, I mean, it was just miserable. This wasn't, previously to that, I'd kind of gone through a period where I'd eat pills every once in a while and drink too. But 7 years, I'd already kind of moved out of that. So let's see, things start happening. My living situation changed, and then I mellowed out a little bit. Then I moved to San Jose about 5.5 years ago. About 5.5 years, because I was living in San Jose about half of a year before I found out about this lifestyle, went to this lifestyle, and stopped drinking. So I get to San Jose. Life is starting to get better. That was a major change. I needed to shake it up and get out of the little beach town I had been living in, and been, just drink it. Like, I just had a certain way of living there. So it was good to change the energy. I got to the city. I had a job. I was living horribly, though. I wasn't in as desperate situation. I wasn't as crazy then, but I was living horribly. I mean, when I first got to the city, I was living in a little dirtbag hotel that was about $12, $14 a night, roaches. And I would stop on the way from work and get like 4 or 5 beers and 4 or 5 pieces of greasy chicken, take them back and eat them. Okay, I get an apartment. I'm in San Jose. I pretty much drink. That's like in September of 2011, I believe, and I pretty much party out, drink out through football season the rest of that year. Come to January of 2012, I'm all set, with the resolutions. I'm going to start getting healthy, eliminate the booze, blah blah blah. Didn't happen on New Year's. It ended up, for some odd reason, it just carried over, and it didn't happen until about the 3rd week of January. I still remember the last bender I was on, because it ended with me, and I've described it just like this. It ended with me shaking under the covers. Like, after 4 or 5 days, the way I drank, I mean, I just literally was in the fetal position, shaking under the covers, and that happened a number of times. Just praying to God I had a Valium to take the edge off. Well, somehow in that moment, I told myself, I'm not going to do this again. And sure enough, I didn't. I quit drinking to a large extent that day. Now that's like in January, like I say, of 2011. Quit drinking that day. Didn't have a drop of booze for 2 months. I started eating a lot better. I was This is the time I talk about transitioning and not knowing it. I started transitioning, not knowing it this time, because I was just seeking to repair my body. I knew I'd done damage from the alcohol, so I quit the drinking. I was seeking everything about antioxidants, anything that was health related. I knew instinctively. I just started eliminating animal products, that was always my go-to. So I started eliminating, and I'm probably got down to, maybe eating meat 3 times a week, and it's super small portions here, really no milk, cheese and eggs, because I was into the protein thing. All right, come to March. I started, but I didn't. I started drinking again because on my health journey, and it was because of that, you're all into this, the antioxidants, and this is good for you, the whole having 1 glass of red wine a day. So I kind of got on this ritual of having 1 glass of red wine a day, eating 1 little square of dark chocolate. Never got out of hand with it, didn't get out of hand, and I did stick to that. And almost for March, April, May, June, almost for 3 months, I remember all the bottles because I didn't get rid of them. I remember for 3 months I had 1 glass of red wine a night. Then come June, which is right about this time of 2012, I just started, I don't really know how I stumbled into information about the raw vegan lifestyle. I started big. You start looking at things, it makes more sense. From that weekend on, it was just like, well, it just doesn't make sense to me to put alcohol in myself anymore. And I went high raw that from the very beginning. Made a lot of mistakes, didn't do it anywhere close to the right way, but went high raw. And from that day, 3rd week, somewhere around there, could be the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st of what are we in? June. I stopped, and that was the last time I ever had a drink. And then I started down on this raw path. And it's like sometimes I think I come across, because I go back and watch old videos, I like to see how the delivery goes. I like to see if I'm stuttering, if I'm saying too much. That's kind of a rookie thing. Like when you first start doing videos, you're like count uhs in new people's videos. I did it all the time. But I watch my videos, and sometimes I go back and I'm like, well, dude, you're a little cocky. And I'm like, no, you're really not. You just walk your walk. I am very supremely cocky about what I do for me and what I will put into my body, because, I don't know. I'm just, part of my reflection here is just realizing I'm a real odd person. I'm a loner to the 10th power. I don't process other people. I don't need other people's input for me to walk my walk. And yeah, that's just why I am how I am, because I've been like so many people that, it makes a good story. And I see a lot of YouTubers and people with their stories of alcohol and drugs, and I check them out a little bit further. And I'm like, you were basically a college kid that, partied a little bit, or you basically did this or that. I drank hard for 30 years. I lived in darkness. I did depraved things. I didn't do soup. I don't have any sort of like dark past that I better hide or anything. I'd never consider myself hurtful to people. Even in my darkest days, I was never like a hurtful type person to people. I probably inadvertently did hurtful things, but I was not that type of person. And I did consider people's feelings. But just the way I lived, I was a dirty drunk. Some of the stories, if I shared with you, you would have a different view of me. Sometimes I probably should do that when people kind of want to like not quite get where you came from. So don't ever make any mistakes when I talk about, my background or things I've done. I've seen the other side. You want to see kind of a sad microcosm? Watch Barfly. Watch Barfly. Now, I wasn't totally a derelict, but watch Barfly by Bukowski. I drank in dark places. I didn't drink with fun people doing shots. I drank with hardcore alcoholics. I was in I was in places I shouldn't be. I've been in dangerous places. I've been in all kind of sketchy places just because, you walk with an edge when you walk like that. And I'm not going to lie to you. Would I have totally, if I could flip a switch, go back and like have converted or come to a healthy place at 21? Can't 100% say that because there's a lot of stories and a lot of things I got up in the old noggin here. But yeah, I'm going to tell you something. I have felt the last 5 years, if I die tomorrow, boom, well, I don't want to die, but it's all good. I'm ready to jump off because the last 5 years, best 5 years of my life. It's almost like, kind of cliche, but almost like being a baby reborn, you know, because I've just like relearned a lot of things. I've relearned how to look at the world through different eyes. I hear differently. I mean, everything is different because it's like I didn't, you know, I've talked to a number of people and I'm very interested in just like different aspects of humans and whatever. And I know a lot of people that have changed their diets, and I know a lot of people that have quit drinking, and I know a lot of people that have made changes. But for me, I can't even quite convey. It was just all this one massive, you know, just I can't be me anymore. I can take a very core component of me that makes me, that is the good part of me, and that's all I can keep, and I got to get rid of the rest, and I got to change this stuff. I mean, you know, it's not even just so much, you know, you wake up, you have a hangover 3 or 4 days a week. And even when you think you feel good, you don't really feel good, not compared to what I do now. And, you know, you feel a little, so you have a drink to take the edge off, and you're always trying to balance things out. It's just a really shitty, miserable way to live. So the last 5 years have just been so light. If I could say the years before that, there was a very, very heavy period, So when all that weight left and it was just lightness, I mean, I just changed. I mean, that was it. That's why I am who I am. That's why I think how I think. That's why I'm light. That's why I'm playful, because it's just not all serious. You know, I'm just happy. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to have a better frame of mind. I'm happy to wake up every day. And for me, that's why, you know, I say I don't see why, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It was broke, I fixed it. If this becomes broke, I'll get in there and tinker around and fix this. But yeah, ain't nobody pulling me out of my game. There ain't nobody gonna make a comment or have something or all this diet or I've got this scientific proof for you. Your scientific proof can bite me. I know how I feel, I know where I've been, and I know where I am now. So anyhow, it's been a great 5 years, almost 4 years on the channel here, and love each and every one of you that follow regularly, that follow some of the time, that follow a few times, or even if you just pop in to watch a single video. Love every one of you. Peace.